Good afternoon, I'm Christine Pei. We are keeping our eyes on the Pierce County Courthouse today, where opening statements just began in the trial for the death of Manuel Ellis. Ellis was 33 years old when he died in March of 2020 after 3 Tacoma police officers confronted and detained him. Matthew Collins and Christopher Shane Burbank both face second-degree murder and first-degree manslaughter charges. Timothy Rankin faces a first-degree manslaughter charge. Let's get straight to King 5's Drew Nicholson live from the courthouse, where opening statements are still underway. Drew.
That's right, Christine. Those opening statements are continuing at this hour. It's been more than 3.5 years since the death of Manuel Ellis, and this is the day his family has been waiting for. They are here at the Pierce County Courthouse seeking justice. Opening statements started with about an hour-long speech from Assistant Attorney General Kent Liu, who says that on that night in March 2020, Manuel Ellis was not aggressive. Instead, it was the officers who initiated the attack, beating Ellis, choking him, restraining him. And instead of helping him, they let him die in the street. The state says jurors will hear from 4 witnesses who saw Ellis approach a Tacoma police car, where the witnesses will testify they saw the officers get out of the car and begin to attack Ellis. But a defense attorney for one of the officers, Officer Christopher Burbank, says his witnesses will describe how aggressive and combative Ellis was and that he was high on meth. The state's opening statement focused on Ellis's last words when he repeatedly said, "I can't breathe, sir."
We know that all these 3 defendants heard him say it, but they chose to do nothing. They didn't help him. Instead, Mr. Ellis was told to shut up.
You know, regrettably, Mr. Ellis died, but it was nothing that any of these officers did. Mr. Ellis died, unfortunately, of his methamphetamine toxicity. And at the conclusion of this case, when we're back before you during closing arguments, we will indeed ask that you find all of the officers not guilty for any of the crimes for which they're charged.
So clearly we're going to hear 2 very different versions of what happened on that night back in March of 2020. It will be up to that 12-person jury to decide the truth. After the opening statements wrap up here shortly, we are expecting to hear from the state's first witnesses this afternoon. Christine?
And by the way, Drew, before you go out back into the courtroom, what are the witnesses that state prosecutors are expected to call to the stand?
Well, potentially dozens, maybe even more than 100 witnesses, were told, from medical experts to folks who spoke with Manuel Ellis that night, including the 7-Eleven clerk who saw him minutes before this incident, as well as those witnesses who were in the area who are providing a much different account from what the police officers are saying.
All right, Drew, thank you very much. And as the trial gets underway, we're going to be covering all of it. Stay with King 5 for complete coverage, along with updates in all of our newscasts. We will also stream the trial live on king5.com and our Fire TV and Roku app, King 5 Plus. That's where you will also find a recap of the week's events every Friday evening during the trial.